So hello everyone, I'm Annie. I'm the product marketing manager here at Pinterest. And today I'll be walking you all through the Verified Merchant Program. So what is the Verified Merchant Program? So the Verified Merchant Program, also known as VMP, enhances the connection between pinners and brands. Pinners receive an enriched shopping experience full of shoppable pins from verified merchants, and verified merchants are eligible for distribution within dedicated shopping features and are also eligible for exclusive features such as merchant details and checkout, which I'll get to in a little bit. And so today, the Verified Merchant Program is available in these 13 countries, and we'll also announce when VMP becomes available in additional markets. It's a great program, and verified merchants see a 17% higher conversion rate than brands that are not part of the program. And so why should you become a verified merchant? Well, as a verified merchant, you'll appear in shopping features, stand out from other brands, and be eligible for exclusive features. Let me go over these in a bit more detail. So verified merchants can have their products distributed in dedicated shopping features in which only product pins are displayed. These help pinners inspired by a scene or a product find high quality products that they can purchase online. Verified merchants also get an exclusive badge that helps them stand out from other brands. This badge is displayed on their profile and on all close-ups of their product pins and within search, signaling to pinners that your brand has been vetted by Pinterest, and verified merchants also get availability and pricing information displayed on their product pins as well. And lastly, verified merchants can also get access to exclusive features such as merchant details and checkout, depending on their eligibility. Merchant details help eligible verified merchants better tell their brand story and what they represent, helping pinners shop their values. And checkout makes it easier for pinners to buy from eligible verified merchants when they're already engaging in discovering your products. Do note that right now these two features are only available in the US, but we'll announce when they're available in more countries very soon. So now that we've gone over the benefits of being a verified merchant, how can you become one? So let's go over the steps. First, you'll need to make sure that you meet our merchant guidelines. Our guidelines ensure that pinners have a good experience when shopping on our platform. You can always review our merchant guidelines on our policy page. Next, you'll have to claim your domain. Let us know which websites belong to your brand so you can get access to analytics for the pins that you publish, and pinners can create from your site, and this also helps them know where to find more of your content. Claiming your domain is also required to be able to upload your catalog as well and set up your shop on Pinterest. Next, you'll have to install the Pinterest tag. It's a snippet of code that you put on your site to help track visitors that go from Pinterest to your site and see the actions they take after seeing your products on Pinterest. And lastly, you'll want to upload your catalog. Uploading your product feed turns your entire catalog into shoppable product pins and unlocks the Shop tab on your profile, which makes it easier for pinners to shop and find your products. So to summarize, to become a verified merchant, these are the steps that you must take. You must meet our merchant guidelines, claim your domain, install the Pinterest tag, and upload your catalog. To start the process, you can visit business.pinterest.com/verified merchant program to get started today. So once you get onto the site, you'll see the red Apply Now button, which you can click on. And then you'll see the status of your application and the steps you must take. After you upload your feed and install the Pinterest tag, the status cards will say processing, which can take up to 48 hours for it to process. And once you've completed all the steps, congratulations, you've met all our requirements and are now enrolled into our Verified Merchant Program. And you can start to see the benefits of the program. And now I'll hand it over to Moira, our product specialist, to go over some Q&A.
Hey everyone. Once again, I'm Maura Romualdez. I'm the Commerce Integration Product Specialist. If this is your first event, welcome. And if you're coming back from our previous events, we're happy we're happy that you're back. I hope this is another event that's going to be helpful for you and it's very understandable. It's going to serve as your guide. So, Jazz, let's start with the Q&A.
Yeah, thanks so much, Moira and Annie. We really appreciate you both being here and your expertise. And just to give a little bit more background into this workshop for everyone, we know that on the PBC, many of you are at different stages. So some folks need more help with setup and getting enrolled in the Verified Merchant Program, which is a lot of the steps that Annie covered, and we'll be sharing this out afterwards. But a lot of the questions that we received in the Q&A are also from folks that are already enrolled in the program and have ongoing questions. So now we'll be kind of shifting into those types of questions. And again, if you have questions along the way, please make sure to drop them in our Q&A chat. And once we wrap up these questions, which were submitted in our form, we will try our best to get to those. So just keep that in mind. All right, now we'll go ahead and we'll jump into our Q&A. So starting with our very first question that we received, which was, do you need a minimum number of products in order to become a verified merchant? I only have a few digital products.
So to answer that, no, as long as your feed is ingesting or is ingested successfully, it should not be an issue.
Thanks, Moy. I think that this is a question that we see a lot in the PBC because merchants are at different phases. So it's good to know that there isn't a minimum amount required. Thank you for clearing that up. All right, the next question. Can you share a step-by-step on how to become a merchant and link your products?
As mentioned in the presentation, you'll need to meet our merchant guidelines, claim your domain, install the Pinterest tag, and also upload your catalog. So once you start that process, your VMP status page will also guide you on the next step, as what Annie showed previously.
Perfect. Yeah, and I believe Annie, yes, went over this. So we'll be sharing out that deck as well, which had some images as a good reference point if anyone would like to review that. All right, and moving on to our next is regarding product inventory to be approved as a verified merchant.
First and foremost, always the merchant guidelines should be followed. And after that, the majority of your products must be successfully ingesting, making sure there's no errors, and calling out that make sure all your domain is properly claimed. And if for some reason we see like any inconsistencies, for example, like one domain is not claimed, it can be an issue. So you will need to write a support ticket with us, and we can assist you on how to fix that.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for that. So there are some instances, folks, where we will have to be submitting a support ticket. So we'll be sharing out that link if you're not already familiar, or if you've never filed a ticket before, we'll be sharing that in the chat as well as a reference point. Thanks, Moira. All right, our next question is, when will there be availability to have the Verified Merchant Program in Czech Republic or in other countries in Europe?
As outside from the 13 countries we showed earlier, that Czech Republic is not yet available, but we're always listening and we'll announce it once we expand more to more countries.
Yeah, that's good to know. And definitely, if you're a member of the Pinterest business community, these are the types of announcements that we'll share out constantly in our product FAQs. So whenever there's any updates to different markets and we expand our programs, we make sure to share that information in the Pinterest business community. So I highly recommend, if you're not already involved, join the community because there's a lot of really great resources available to you there. And part of what Moira said, we're always listening. So the Pinterest business community is also a really great place to share this type of feedback. All right, moving on to our next question. Do I have to have a shop on my WordPress website in order to become a VMP member?
I think this is such a great question, especially since we just finished the WooCommerce event last time. So quick plug, yes, it's you can use your WordPress website, and the easiest way to do it is using our plugin, which is the Pinterest for WooCommerce. Jazz will send that link, but it's everything's automated, as I mentioned last time. And if you're not aware, it automatically connects the tag in your catalog, so it's like an easier process.
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I've shared the link now here to that plugin. And also, if you're just getting started with WooCommerce, we just hosted a workshop last month, which we have the full recording to where Moira walked through step by step how the plugin works and setup. So if you're interested in that as part of becoming a VMP, we highly recommend reviewing that. All right, moving on to our next question. Can you have more than one verified merchant account?
Okay, so this might be a little bit confusing, but I just wanted to call out that it should be for a Pinterest account, not an ad account. So you are enrolled in the program in a Pinterest account level. So as long as I believe you have another Pinterest account, it should still work as long as you followed all the guidelines that we mentioned.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that because that is another question that we see quite a bit of in the PBC as well. So thank you for helping to clear that up. All right, next question. Can you become a VMP no matter what e-commerce software you are running on?
Okay, so I'm seeing a trend here. Like everyone's like, "Hey, I need to make sure is this the right platform me to use to be VMP?" But just remember, as long as the requirements and our guidelines are followed, it should not matter. But as I mentioned earlier, if you are using like Shopify or WooCommerce, it's going to be an easier process because it takes out the effort in putting in the tag, especially if you don't have any technical knowledge, and also uploads your feed. So great question.
Awesome. Yeah, seeing a lot of questions around e-commerce software. So thank you for bringing that clarity. All right, our next question. What are the best practices regarding product inventory to be approved as a VMP?
Oh, this is similar to the first question, I guess. If it's in terms of the amount of products, as I mentioned, it shouldn't matter as long as we have like at least 60 or 50% of the feed that's ingesting properly, it should still be fine.
Okay, great. Good to know. All right. So, next question. Is this option available to anyone? So, this option being becoming a verified merchant.
So, as mentioned earlier as well, it's going to be those 13 countries. So I can just share that again. So that's Australia, Austria, Brazil, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Mexico, Netherlands, Spain, Switzerland, United Kingdom, and United States. So if you did not hear your country, then it's not yet available.
Awesome. Yeah, and Yasmin just added a really great point here about inventory that I want to make sure to call out is to please also make sure that you're not selling any prohibited products, just because based on what we've seen, sometimes people will submit a ticket, and the issue being that they are selling a prohibited item. So that's a really great call out and just want to make sure to include that in our discussion around inventory. Great. All right, next question. Is there specific support for verified merchants if there are problems?
It should still be the same way you reach us with other products. So Jasmine will share the link as well. But like I said, if each account is different. So if you think, for example, this is your issue, and then you read someone on the PBC, it might slightly be different. So the safest way is to reach out to us to make sure we can cater to you, like to your issue specifically.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Moira. All right, moving on to our next question here. And then we did go ahead and include that link, that contact form that Moira just mentioned in the chat as well. So make sure to bookmark that for if you ever have issues, you have a quick point of access. All right, next question. I have multiple ad accounts, each with its own Pinterest tag. I keep getting suspended from VMP because of the unused tags. What do I do?
Okay, this has also come up not just in PPC but also in the ticket side. So first and foremost, we need those unused tags archived. So before you can see that button, you need to wait between 30 to 60 days for it not to fire. And we know it can be a pain. That's one of the options. So just to repeat that, make sure you archive those unwanted tags. And another way is making sure that your ad account doesn't have like any active billing on it. So if you've done that and you're still like having issues, please like reach out to us and we will help you with that.
Yeah, great point, Moy, about archiving unused tags, because this question that we just went over is also another really common question in the PVC. So thank you for calling those 2 points out. And then as always, for any account specific questions that need review and need our team to check more thoroughly on the back end, always please make sure to submit a ticket. The PVC is a great resource when it comes to VMP. There's a lot of great responses around it, but sometimes it will require a deeper investigation into your specific instance. All right, moving on to our next and last question, also around suspension. The question is, if I get suspended from VMP, can I still be enrolled back in the program?
So if you do get that messaging, note that you have 30 days to fix that issue. So once you see that banner, it doesn't automatically mean you're out of the program. So it's like a good time for you to fix whether it's a Pinterest tag issue or a catalog. And once you do fix it, you're going to be back in the program. You're not going to be kicked out just like that when you see that banner. So don't worry, you have time to fix it and to reach out to us.
Got it.
Can I just
And
sorry?
oh yeah,
To clarify, I think the question was specifically about suspension and not non-compliance. So I think Moira is correct in that if something goes wrong, you go into the sort of like non-compliant state first for 30 days. Once you're suspended, which basically means you weren't able to fix the issue for 30 days, and we suspend you from the program, once you fix the problem, whatever it was, you'll automatically get re-enrolled within 24 hours. So yes, the answer is it's not that once you get suspended, you're forever suspended. Once you address the issue, you'll get re-enrolled automatically.
Thanks, Yas.
Thank you so much, Yasmin, for that extra background. That is really helpful to know. And thank you, Lisa, for that feedback. We'll definitely make sure to incorporate this feedback. We love to hear any type of feedback that you all have about the program, ways that we can improve. So thank you for sharing that as well. That concludes the questions that we've received through the form. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is we did receive one extra question in the chat so far. So if you have additional questions, please drop them in the chat. I'm going to start with a question from Callie. She wrote to us here asking specifically around catalogs, which let us know, team, by the way, if this is something that we can include under VMP. And if not, we can work internally to get Callie an answer from the correct team. So with a manually created catalog that doesn't update automatically, how often do you recommend making changes to update the catalog manually?
I can take this. I want to say it's not really a VMP issue. It's more of a catalogs and the notification you get. So know that it's just a notification. And I know it can be annoying, but just to let you know, you're not required to keep updating your products. So I guess in a simple sense, you can ignore it, but make sure if there's like any like pressing errors you see that's causing the feed to fail, then that's when we can definitely help out. But for like, if you don't have any product updates, we're not going to force you, right? So just keep that in mind. It's an alert and you're not forced to do it.
Cool. Thank you for that context, Moira. And Callie, thanks so much for your question because it's one that we've definitely seen a lot of in the Pinterest business community as well. And I think, Callie, also a great point is that, maybe we should have a catalogs workshop as well at some point. So thank you for bringing this great question up. And I've also gone ahead and I've shared and I've pinned it to the top. There is a survey because we do want to hear from you all around, did you find this information helpful? And then also, what do you want to see more of, right? Like what types of workshops, what types of topics would you like us to address? We've had quite a few workshops so far, and they've all been really successful as far as getting your questions answered and sharing more resources in the PBC. So we definitely want to hear from you. So please make sure to take that survey to let us know how you're feeling about the VMP program, this workshop. We're definitely interested in hearing more. And I'm taking a look here at the chat. We do have a couple minutes left. If anyone has any specific VMP program questions, you have the experts here. So let's see. We have one that just came in, team. You want to take a quick look and see if this is something we can cover here or if we'll need to cover in our recap Q&A.
I guess this is WooCommerce related, but it also touches on VMP, but it makes sense. Like, I just can't leave it. But it seems Pixel Your Site is another plugin. So just to clarify, like if you're using WordPress, there's a lot of plugins you can use to install the Pinterest tag. But the only official one is called the Pinterest for WooCommerce, which Jazz shared earlier. So if you have two plugins basically working like the same thing, it's gonna mess it up. So if you want to use Pixel Your Site, don't install the Pinterest for WooCommerce. If you want to use Pinterest for WooCommerce, remove the Pixel Your Site. So yeah, I can go on with that, but that's basically the gist of it. So you can only have one plugin at the same time.
Thanks so much for answering that, Moy. I really appreciate that answer. And it looks like, oh yeah, Lisa brings up a point about maybe sometimes people are confused if they're a merchant because they're approved on other sites, like for example, Facebook. So yeah, that's a good point, Lisa. Definitely, I think our guidelines and making sure that folks know that our guidelines as Pinterest are different from other sites as well. So pointing folks to that guidelines page and our requirements are different from other platforms. So that's an important call out. So thank you for that. All right, folks. Well, it looks like that's all of the questions that we've received so far. We appreciate you all being here today for our VMP workshop. I'll be following up with a full replay as well as the deck that Annie reviewed with us today. And then also, if you have any additional VMP questions, please head over to the PBC. We're happy to help answer any additional questions there, and we'll be sharing the recording soon. So thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate it. And big shout out to our Pinterest team, Annie, Moira, and Yasmin for being here today and helping us. So appreciate your time. All right, everybody. Thank you.